wow, a new video before another 6 months passed. That's gotta be a new record. But hey, welcome. By the title of the video, you must be aware of the current debacle that is again happening with Butch Hartman. The man really doesn't know how to stay out of trouble. Like when he automatically filters criticism as hate because the people that criticize him didn't become famous like him. Or how last month an animator named Kuro exposed emails where he got commissioned to work on a project worth $1,400 and is still waiting for the payment since 2017.
However, after telling me to wait for a response from them soon, they proceeded to never contact me again.
But Butch is purposely avoiding confrontation and leaves Kuro in the dark. And the oh-so-magical Kickstarter dream that was Oaxis, which funding was online in June 2018, and has yet to this day not received any major updates or any released information besides it's still developing and creating the platform since 2019. And now it's mid-2020. Oaxis Entertainment, because we're family! Or more like, because we're taking and wasting money from families! I could go on and talk about way more instances that happened where Butch was the main evildoer, but this time we're only going to focus on what happened very recently. Now, it still doesn't look like the man has any regrets in his practices and still rips people off as much as he can. You see, Butch claims that he made our childhood and that he inspired and still inspires many people, which I won't even deny, because I can believe that he inspired many people in the good old days. Shows like The Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom were the shows that made him get recognized and famous. I also grew up watching The Fairly Odd Parents and loved the first seasons. Until we got another kids channel with the newer seasons where male pregnancy was a thing. Yeah, Christian teaching, everybody. I never watched Danny Phantom, but I know that many people and especially cartoon enthusiasts hold it very dear to their heart. Some probably also aspire to become an artist and animator like Butch himself and want to be like him. But it kinda gets complicated when you find out that your role model that has been in the industry for well over 20 years charges $200 for a traced art commission. Butch has a status in the industry and also on the internet. He of course made his own cartoons and helped others with their project, but also makes YouTube videos and takes art commissions on the side. There's nothing wrong with that. If he wishes to charge $200 for a commission and people pay him that amount, it's fine. He's a well-known artist and he can choose to charge any amount, because people aren't just paying for the art. They're also buying for the artist behind it that many people know and recognize. It's like when you buy new clothes. You have the option of many stores and brands, but some prefer to choose the ones that are well known and liked. Even if the clothes could be bought much cheaper at not so widely known stores and brands. It could be to show off a certain status symbol and say, look, I can afford this. The quality of the product could also be worse or better. Some don't know that because they're more enticed to wear clothes with popular brands on them. So why charge dirt cheap if your brand is being regarded at such a high standard and the demand is really big? Just charge a lot for something that didn't take a lot, just like Butch Hartman's commissions. It's basically supply and demand. If many people want something, the producers can increase the price to make more profit and have more time to produce said product. That can happen in the art industry, in the gaming industry, and in many more industries. But what also caught my eye is that many people were pretty outrageous about the fact that Butch charges $200 for a single commission. But people seem to forget that art is a luxury item. You don't need art as much as you need essential products like food and water. Yeah, Butch shouldn't have traced art to begin with for a commission worth $200. Even if the price was lower, he shouldn't have done it. It's pretty much a slap in the face for the person that wasted $200 on him. And by that I don't mean that artists don't have to work a lot to refine their skills and practice much more to have a presentable experience which they can make money off from. I should know that since I am an artist who also happens to take commissions on the side. There is a clear difference between work that has been drawn from oneself and work that has been traced or heavily referenced. And it gets even more ridiculous when the people who obviously traced don't own up to it. At least like every week when I open Twitter, someone gets called out for tracing. Sometimes justified and sometimes not. But when you compare the commission Butch did of Ranma, or Ranma, I honestly don't know, to one of the first pictures that show up when you Google her name, it becomes pretty apparent that these two pictures look way too similar. And it really doesn't help the fact that they're both the same character and have the same pose, same expression, and just a few things tweaked a little. And when you overlay both drawings, almost every line seems to add up, so oops. And the thing about tracing is that it's somewhat acceptable in the art community, but it depends on the context. So depending on how you're going to use it, it's either bad or good. If you happen to trace art in order to study anatomy or a certain shading style or something else, that is pretty much acceptable. You're doing it in order to study something, in order to learn, in order to gain more experience. And tracing doesn't only apply on tracing another's art. It can also be applied in real life, in photographs. In my art class, there were several exercises where you were supposed to trace over something or reference something and make it into a painting. I had to do it with a tower of buttons. And honestly, more beginner artists than experienced artists use the technique of tracing over things, because more experienced artists know how to reference from something and make it into their own drawing. And you want to know how they do that? Experience. And considering that Butch is a widely known artist and animator that had been working for Nickelodeon since 1997 and left in 2018, he has well over 20 years of experience behind him. So I can't give you the answer why he thought to trace over a drawing and claim it as his own and getting $200 for it was a good idea. I assure you that he knows that it isn't right. Huh? Well, maybe he doesn't. Considering how he drew a character of his own cartoon but making it look like a beginner artist drew their first piece digitally. I usually don't like to critique one's art skills since everyone draws in their own way, but there is certainly a visible downgrade. Man, what happened? Looks like Christianity did a magnificent job in guiding you and making all those autistic children normal again. And no, that's not me joking around, that's really what he believes in. He thinks you can cure autism. Probably wasn't his best decision to act all tough and untouchable without thinking about the consequences. And yeah, people got rightfully angry with him and it's honestly just a giant shit show. What will the god, the angel, do next? How will he gracefully tumble over his own morals as an artist and human being next time? Who knows? At least Kuro is being vocal about your legal agreements and demands to be paid. Just fucking do it. I mean, if you get commissioned to draw traced art for $200, how much should real animators and artists get paid for their work? Some great role model we have here. You have founded over $230,000 for our access. And you still have to provide us with any updates. At this point, just give people their money back. You're like a millionaire at this point. How much money can Butch Hartman suck out of his struggling fanbase this year? Only time will tell if he actually wants to finally address some of the incidents and apologize. I honestly doubt it, but you can surprise me, you can surprise everyone. It's just a big mess, and he thinks that everything we say is just hate, which is lovely. Who came first, Butch or Yanderedev? Yeah, that's basically it for today, and I hope you have a damn good one. Yeah, so that was pretty short compared to my other videos. I'll try to make the next ones longer again. I didn't want to get into every single topic every other YouTuber already complained about. So this time it was more art related. But don't expect any new content anytime soon. My laptop is about to lose its soul and it's getting harder to record speed paints, let alone render videos. So till then, stay safe.